All right, here we go. So,
There's
right
no
now,
picture. Nobody wants to listen to this without a picture.
look, it's all right. Just turn the sound on the TV. You flip through whatever you want to watch. We're just talking. And here goes the conversation, just to bring everybody up to speed. Me and Mrs. Truck are having a conversation about eating better, and we've have eaten better in the past. You know, we get on a strict diet and we start to feel better, but then something comes up like our anniversary, and all the shit goes out the window. And you know what? That one day we're gonna eat crazy.
Or a heart surgery.
We don't give a fuck. We're gonna eat whatever we want, and because that's what it is, you know, we're gonna. But then she gets on this kick, and then she's like, "Okay, we gotta start eating better, and we're gonna get rid of all the shit that you got." Now, I got some that Kraft cheese
It's
to
not
make
Kraft cheese. It's Velveeta.
whatever. It's liquid fucking death, is what it is. but here goes the thing. I put it on cheese fries. I make cheese fry. I like cheese fry. I like cheese steaks. Okay, so
none of which you're supposed to have.
I agree. But you know what? When you throw it out the window, all bets are off. I'm getting fucking chicken wings and cheese fries and fucking donuts. And you know what?
And you got all of it.
Right. You're right.
Now you're going to be done by midnight on Saturday after our anniversary is officially over.
So then we'll go for a little stretch, and then all of a sudden something will happen. Another anniversary, a birthday, a Christmas,
we
a
can't
New
this
Year's,
time
a
because you're fucking
Thanksgiving,
dying.
a Thanksgiving, right? All that shit comes up, right?
No.
Yes. And then you decide.
We can't now. It's different.
Yeah, well, we've been saying that.
No, it's really different.
Why is it different now?
Because you haven't moved for 3 months except to curl up in a ball and cry in pain.
My back is fucked up. Yes, true.
And there's been no quality of life. And since the day this fucking room was done, your ass has been in it. And barely seen daylight.
I can't even help it.
And that's right. You can't help it. Why? Because you're fucked up. And now I got autoimmune disease, potentially lupus, which could literally kill me. So you just had a heart surgery less than a year ago. You've already clogged up the new arteries, probably.
There's no proof to that.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably something. I'm sure.
You have more than made up for lost time.
But okay,
so we both now are in the same boat where we have serious fucking health issues, and we cannot go on like this because the food is proven that it is directly hurting both of us in a big way where we can't even function like normal adults our age.
Okay, so my point is this, though.
That's the difference. Okay, you wanted to know what was different? That's the difference.
Okay, so, well, here goes the thing. Every time that you decide...
It's not every time, don't generalize. Because I was ready when you had your surgery, but you didn't want to start up. So it's not every time.
All right, well, I agreed when you decided that, okay, we need to eat better, which you were right. We need to eat better. And I agreed, and you grabbed all this shit in the house and got rid of it.
That's right. 2 garbage bags full. 33-gallon garbage bags full of shit that came out of this house.
Yes, absolutely true.
You can just imagine what's in our bodies.
Right. And I agree to it. But now it's like, I don't want to agree to it. If you decide this is what you want to do, I'd like to see my cheese. Okay. I for the record, I said, okay, take my cheese. You can have my cheese.
No, you can have your cheese until midnight on Saturday.
I'm not ready.
You will be ready tomorrow because on your special day, you'll have cheese fries.
Here goes the thing.
Because it'll be the last time you're having cheese fries. It'll be the last time you're having fries.
I can let that cheese sit there for weeks at a time.
It doesn't matter. It's still going to kill you when you're ready. It's going to clog up your arteries and destroy your $8,000 surgery. That's just the copay.
I get that.
The actual surgery was $150,000.
Well, when you put it like that.
Uh-huh. And what is this lifestyle of eating this way stopping us from doing right now? You can't go to your friend because you can't make the drive. and you're missing out on an activity that you would have liked. I feel like shit. I'm humiliated with the way that I look, and I've let my body turn into a garbage dump.
Which, by the way, I still love you.
I understand that, and I love you for that. But the reality is, we now are in a predicament where our bodies are literally stopping us from doing normal activities. We could be having a nice vacation, going to the wedding, and just as a couple, actually having a little getaway and actually enjoying ourselves and partying, and for different reasons, but both because of poor health, we now are missing out on quality life events. So, which is gonna be better?
I am devastated.
Is the pizza better? Is the cheese fries better? Or would we have more fun if we actually got off our asses and were with friends and got to socialize and got to celebrate with them and were healthy enough to enjoy ourselves?
I agree.
Okay, and that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
But here's my dilemma. Okay, you get on a roll, and I'm with you on it, and then you decide.
No, it's not just me. When
listen, when you decide, okay, I don't want to do this, I need a break, and you decide to do whatever you want to do, I go along with it because I'm about tired of the bullshit too, and I go along with it, and now we're stuck in that situation, and now we're having this conversation.
But we didn't do the break 6 weeks before your surgery.
I want you to admit, how many times have we had this conversation? Multiple times, and it's just a round circle that we do the same shit.
We didn't do the same shit that time when you were scared that your life depended on it, and we thought we could avoid the surgery.
Yep, absolutely.
And I was still willing, and that was even more reason. You were given a clean slate after the surgery, more reason to stay with what we were doing as a team, as a partnership, and get our health back. And I was going strong with you, and you decided, fuck it.
I can't remember who said fuck it, but it probably was me. I ain't gonna lie, it probably was me, because I was like tired of the shit.
So it's not every time.
Okay, maybe
very often it is me, and I will take it all day long.
Thank you for admitting that.
But you know what? None of that matters, because the reality is you are in so much pain that you are basically not functioning. You are basically at a point where you can't even get up a lot of the time.
You're right.
And what you don't understand is that your pain becomes my pain, because I am powerless. I do not know how to help you. I can't take the pain away for you, and it destroys me to watch the person that I love most in the world suffer most in the world, unnecessarily so, when I know that there are things that can be done to help you. But you can't even get the medication that would help you, because your A1C is so fucking ridiculously high that you can't get a steroid, because it will raise your sugar more, and so nobody will even let you have the medicine you need. Okay? And by the way, you may not remember, but I do. When you came out of the surgery from your triple bypass, all we were told is you are going to have to be on narcotics at least the first 5 days because of the pain. You were not given anything, nothing for the pain for the first 72 hours. And why was that? Because they couldn't stabilize your blood pressure. Now, I don't know what the correlation is, but I can tell you, common sense and all the research that I've done, had you been healthier
I would have been.
Start, you probably could have had an easier recovery, a faster recovery, and you probably would have been healed by now, which you have so much inflammation in your body because of your diabetes so out of control that even the 12-inch scar from your chest is still killing you to this day. And I have read articles and I have met people that have recovered in half the time, and they were 20 years older than you.
Absolutely true. That's
So,
all
and
true.
you know what? I am a food addict, and I am fat, and I've turned my body into a garbage dump, and I am ashamed of that. And I feel so out of control and horrible. And you're right. That's my fucking problem. But you know what
I
else
don't mean
triggers
it like
me?
that. Listen,
But you know what else
I
triggers
don't mean
me?
it like that.
Stress. Stress triggers me too. And you and your condition brings a lot of stress to my life, and it affects my quality of life as well as yours.
And you're absolutely right. But listen, let's not take what I'm saying out of context, okay? I didn't say it's your problem. I'm saying when you are ready to start, then you start. You cannot drag me into it unless I'm ready. If I'm not ready, how are you going to decide for me? You can't decide for somebody what they're going to do.
Of course I
And
can. I do the shopping. And I
You're
can pull the
hurting my
and I can
scar.
pull the and I can pull the wife card.
Yeah.
And I'm a bossy bitch. Of course I can. Where have you been the last 6 years? You fucking
which
high.
by the way, people, as you can see on the television, it's Thursday, April 13th. We got married on April 14th, and on April 14th we would have been married 6 years. She has not killed me, and she has not buried my body.
I'm trying to keep you alive.
And I haven't done the same to her. And we have heated discussions regularly, at least once a week sometimes. Sometimes it's
That's only when we're talking to each other.
But you know what? It's always done with love, and we know where it's coming from. And
Yes.
it's not a bad place. And
Of course I love you. That's why I'm fighting for you.
And
we're so fucked up in the head from our health that we thought today was our anniversary and fucking announced it publicly on Facebook.
yeah, but you know what? It's gonna be tomorrow. So you know what? Well,
So now we're not going to get
when all
nothing on our
when all the
anniversary.
comments come in, you'll be able to answer them. I am not a Facebook person.
I deleted
I
my
don't-
post.
Why would you do that?
Because I went and said happy anniversary and prematurely.
There's people commenting already on
I
it.
know, but it was too soon. I had
You
to take it
should
back.
no. You should have just fucking
I'm going
left
to
it.
repost tonight at
You
midnight
should have just left it.
because that is our anniversary.
Okay, so with the Alzheimer's kicking in, we missed the date by a day.
And
So what?
Alzheimer's has been shown
So what?
that it is caused
Hey,
because of poor diet.
I am also dyslexic.
So am I, and I'm
All right,
clinically
so-
diagnosed.
Well, I'm not, but I know that I am because I see all fucking numbers backwards. So and somehow in my head, but here goes the thing: you're the one that started that. You said, "Oh, it's our anniversary." I said, "Okay."
Exactly.
So
Because my brain is all messed up.
right. Well, I mean,
Because
I
we're
went
not
along.
healthy people.
Listen,
If we were
I go
healthy, sharp
along-
people,
I go
then we
along.
would know our anniversary is tomorrow and not today.
I go along with you and what you say because you are the organization to my life that I've been missing my
Which
whole
is
life.
exactly why
Yeah.
when I say you got to start, you got to start. And when
Yes.
I say you got to stop, you got to stop.
I listen.
You
I
just answered your own question.
agree,
Okay, then the
but
end.
there's sometimes I want what I want. What's
I
wrong with
know
that?
what you can always want what you want. You just can't always have it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Jesus. And this, my friends, is what we go through on a daily basis. And you know what? It's fine. I still love her, and I know what she's trying to do. I know you're trying to help me.
I mean, at least you freaking get your tobacco.
you're
You
right.
got another addiction. I don't have any other vice. It's just
You're right.
fucking food.
Tobacco and coffee you cannot ever take away from me because I will stab somebody, and that could be dangerous. I would never hurt you, honey. You know that.
I know. I'm not afraid of you.
I know you're not. You know what I mean? And there's guns in the house. That's the crazy part. But nah, there's no fear here. Never. I've never ever even dreamt of even harming a hair on your head.
And I have never dreamt of hurting you either.
I thought about it, but I've never done it. No, I've never thought about it.
Well,
You're the love of my life, honey.
no,
I
not
couldn't.
my life.
I can't even believe that I've been married this long to you, and
I can't believe it's only 6 years because it feels like 20.
It does. We feel like an
We
old.
have gone through a lot of shit in
Yeah,
6 years.
We have.
Most couples don't go through this much in 20 years.
Yeah, well, you're right. We
And we survived all of it.
we have a drug addict son who brought the police here and then ripped our fucking door down. Okay.
And part of the wall.
You know what I mean? I came out to my wife after what, 6 months?
four months we were married.
4 months, and I said, "Hey, I'm a drug addict, by the way, and I'm sticking needles in my arm, and you know, I'm going to do something about it." And I did, and with her support, I got through it. And this year, at September 11th, I will celebrate, 6 years of not fucking putting cocaine and heroin in my body, or no pills and none of that shit. Okay,
and no alcohol.
Oh, I know. I had a beer.
I thought that was non-alcoholic.
No. I had real beer. Probably like 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I can't remember. It was like last year sometime.
Big deal.
But I mean, I bought a 4-pack. I drank 1 beer and a half, and I dumped the rest of it. Like it just did. Like I thought, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, and I'm thinking, okay.
But you also were not an alcoholic. So
no, I'm not. I know. Well,
that wasn't your drug of choice.
That wasn't my. It was a drug that I used to get by.
Right.
And there were drugs in my life that like alcohol I used to kind of just, when I didn't have my drug, it was my crutch, and that's what I used it for. I didn't necessarily enjoy it, and I never got like fall down stupid drunk, but I got my buzz on. But and this last time, like I said, like 8 months ago, beer is the only thing that I've really abused. I've had weed, and 3.5 years in, after my buddy died, I smoked weed for the first time in 3.5 years, and I still smoke every now and then. I have a puff, and it's not like
it's for pain.
But for that anxiety, all the shit that fucks with me, it helps. And I am not addicted to weed like that. Like it's not.
You know what?
I can take or leave it. I
what?
know that I'm not addicted to it. But I had to grow to learn myself before I even started to do that, because that's a drug that can trigger people to go back. I'm not one of them. I haven't been. I've already got a proven track record, because I could easily find drugs. Listen, I was a truck driver, and I could fucking find drugs in every state that I went into. I could find heroin or cocaine or crack or whatever the fuck I wanted. I knew how to get it. I got pills on the fucking road. I got all kinds of shit. I know how to get drugs. So you know what? That's not a problem. All right. And I have not reached out for anything like that. And I loved heroin and cocaine, especially the mixture. Whoa, boy, I was like a fucking chemist, and that's not the life I want to live anymore, and I'm not into that. But the weed has a purpose, and they should just legalize it across the board. That's how I feel. But again, I have friends that weed can trigger them into a lot of shit, and they know this about themselves, and that's why they don't fuck with it. But I had to get to a certain point in my life. I went 3.5 years straight without nothing, and I was comfortable. I was comfortable with it. I wasn't like thinking about it. But my friend Craig died, and actually the 8th of April is 2 years that he's passed, and I wanted to do something for him. I still have some recordings. I have one particular piece of recording I wanted to play, but I need another phone to do it. Mike can use your phone to do it, but
yeah, you can.
I got to pull it up in my email.
All right.
But that's neither here nor there. That's another episode.
But
what? This episode is.
But you know what?
Is gonna be,
maybe if you got your sugar down and you got hyper nourished, and you started eating really well, maybe you wouldn't need as much the pot or kratom or anything else that you may use.
Which, by the way, yes, I use kratom also.
Maybe
if you don't know what that is,
Google
it.
Maybe by getting hypernourishment and going on getting your sugar down and getting the inflammation really low, if not completely gone, maybe you'll start to feel like you can walk again and exercise, and you'll start feeling better, and maybe you won't need these other things as much.
Yeah, I know. You're right. You're absolutely right. And
And yes,
Getting
I
there-
am, and yes,
getting
I
there
am.
is
I
the
am a
problem.
big asshole when it comes to stopping, starting with the food and controlling and all that stuff. I get it,
Okay. Well,
but it doesn't
What-
matter now because we are in a predicament here, and we say we love each other and we're the loves of each other's lives, and we want to have a long, healthy life together. But we're not doing anything to make that happen.
yep.
And I don't care what you say. The reality is, doing it together is always easier than doing it separately. Because
You're
you
right.
have each other's support, and you know that you don't want to let the other person down because they're trying to do it. And you
Yeah, but
end
then,
up
we-
making better choices, and you do it. They show that couples that do these types of things together, they have a lot more success, longevity, and they're happier. And the thing is, we need to find something that is more entertaining and more quality of life and enjoyable than food and vices.
Yeah, and we're still addicts. I'm still an addict.
Yes.
I will be the first one to tell you that I abuse cigarettes, I abuse coffee, and there's
Right
certain
now,
things
the
in
food
my
is
life.
right now the food is more dangerous to you than the freaking tobacco is. I'd rather you keep the cigarettes than the food, because the food is doing an immediate damage. Yes, is tobacco deadly? It certainly can be, but the reality is, like 70% of smokers never get cancer.
Really?
Yeah. Is that a reason? Is that a reason not to give up? Of course not. You're polluting the air. You're polluting your body. Why would you want to do that? Tobacco is horrible. Tobacco.
So now I'm
is
responsible
horrible.
for global warming. Is that it?
We're all responsible for it. We all have footprints. That's a whole other issue.
Well, look here, Bigfoot.
My
You need.
my point is,
I want my cheese.
I
want my cheese fries.
You can have it tomorrow or today.
And then after that,
done.
See?
I can't have my pizza and pasta. You think that doesn't kill me? But you still get to smoke your cigarettes. What do I get?
Well,
dishes. The reality is, tobacco is horrible for you, and I have lost many family to cancer, and my own mother had lung cancer, and she didn't even smoke, and she didn't even hang around people who smoke. I am not condoning that, but what I am saying is the reality is, right now, in the immediate today, the food that you are eating is more dangerous and more likely to take your life than the cigarette that's in your hand. So as of right now, I would much rather you eat as healthy as possible and get your sugar down and smoke than quit the smoking and keep eating the way that you're eating. Because that is what's going to kill
agree.
you first.
Listen, I'm going to go along with it again. And then, God forbid,
we're starting Saturday.
And then something is going to come and trigger someone.
There are going to be triggers, but if we're doing this together and we are making the commitment to do it, to take care of ourselves and to get healthy so we can actually get some quality in our lives, so we're not sitting at home, we're actually going out, we're actually doing things as a couple and enjoying life.
I agree. It can help us.
Then that is what the commitment is.
That can help us, absolutely.
We are going to have triggers, just like you had triggers constantly with the heroin and giving up all these drugs.
Yeah.
I have triggers all around me with freaking food.
I know. It should come
and commercials. It's horrible.
That comes up on TV a lot.
Yes.
And if they showed heroin and fucking needles all day long, I'd probably be shooting up very soon. I don't know.
So that
hard.
part of that, I have to regulate what I watch.
You can't.
Yes, I can. I don't even have to watch TV.
You can change the channel. Yes.
I don't have to watch TV.
But they make you watch fucking commercials if you want to watch something.
I don't have to watch. I could get up and leave the room. I could change the channel. There's a lot of things I could do. I could go without TV, period.
If you're doing something, yeah.
I've done it for a long time. But the reality is, there are triggers all around us. And I was just watching a video by Dr. Brooke Goldner on cravings. Yeah. And this is the bad news. The first week, of doing her thing, and I assume it's of anything because she's talking from a scientific point of view. The first week, you're motivated, you're committed, and you do it and you get it done. And then all of a sudden, weeks 2 and 3 and 4, holy hell, is trigger city, craving city.
Yeah.
You're miserable. You want what you want.
Yep.
And according to her, scientifically, that is a chemical change where your body is physically fighting what you were doing,
Yeah,
trying to get you to go back to
It's
it.
your brain
But
too.
the good news is, by week 5,
Yeah,
they
it
start to
settles
calm down again.
Yeah.
6, and it gets easier
It gets
and
easier.
easier and
That's
easier.
just like drugs.
with
It's no
consistency.
difference. It's what I went through getting off the hard drugs. I went through the same shit. And you know what? I stuck it out. It got better, and I got to a point where I could handle. I'm
But-
fine with. Listen, I got my little vices here and there, but there, when I look at the other side of it and I weigh it out, it's nowhere near what I was. Because I could be so much worse, but I'm not. I am not there. Like my brain functions in a different capacity now, and actually, I think clearer. I do think clearer about certain subjects. We had a big discussion about our son, excuse me, that I don't want to get into now or here, but I will get into it because it is part of our lives and it is affecting us. And that's a whole nother episode. But this episode, what do you think we should call it? What do you think? The attack of the pizzas? I don't know. What do you think? If you could encapsulate this whole conversation, to live and die in LA, I don't know.
The point, I don't know. It's about
Trying to
the
live.
prelude to fighting addiction. It's addressing addictions. It's about the days right before making that commitment, the start date to try and stop addictive behavior.
So this is the beginning of a new beginning, and we're going to fight this together. And we'll keep everybody updated as to how we're doing and where it's going. And it's going to be rough. I'll tell you that. I know it's going to be rough.
Yeah, it is for both of us.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a picnic for me either. It's not. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm like I said, you at least get to keep a vice. I'm giving up my whole life, my entertainment, my vacation, my stress, my emotion, my joy, my celebrations, my holidays, my sadness, my comfort has all been rolled into food. And now I basically got to cut out all of those foods, which ironically really isn't food. It's man-made shit that we feed our bodies
that
true. Doesn't even look like food anymore by the time you get to it.
Yep. I agree with that.
But that's all the stuff that I have come to
the sugar, the
depend
preservatives,
on.
all the bullshit.
That is the stuff I have come to depend on for the any joy in my life. And by doing that, I'm not having a life.
God,
and I'm robbing you of one too.
But listen, you say that, and just as you said that, you know what came to mind?
What?
Last night.
What happened last night?
Well, you went out, you went and got me some cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
And you brought me back what?
The worst thing is I basically could have killed you.
Ice cream and a donut.
Donuts.
And I appreciate it. I'm not saying that.
And a cookie.
I am not.
You shouldn't
I
appreciate
am not.
it.
I am not saying
because
that.
Because a caring, loving wife would not contribute to your illness.
No, but you
the
know
other
what?
part of me knows that you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I
would do
it's
it.
hard to stop. And then the other part is, if I'm gonna do it, well, I just rope you into it too. Somehow it makes it less bad if I do it.
And that's why I'm fighting it. You know what I mean? Because it's like I feel like I'm not ready for it right now.
I'm not ready for it either.
and I'm being
I'm not
pushed
ready.
into it, but I know it's with the right thing to do.
But you're in pain and
Right.
I'm in
Yeah,
pain. You see me
absolutely.
limping.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm messed
And
up.
you're in
I am
pain.
fucked up right now, people. I am fucked up.
So no, I'm not ready to start tomorrow on our anniversary because we don't know. Now, any healthy-minded person is going to say, "But that's the best day to start it together. Mark it on your anniversary. That's the best anniversary
Yeah, that's a
gift you
good
can give it."
idea.
Yeah, but you're talking to two addicts.
And
So I
I
can tell you
fall
right
I
now.
fall like a domino, so I ain't gonna lie to you.
So I can tell you right now, that's not going to work for me. And I'm going to rope you into it, and that's shame on it. That is one addict trying to rope in another addict.
No, I'll tell you the manipulative side of addiction is that I'm patient enough to wait to your weakest point, and you go, I can't take this, and I'm going to have some pizza, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, and I'm going to be like, all right, cool, I'm with you. And
that's what we have to change.
Right.
That's what we have
but
to
that's my
talk
addict.
to each other. So you know what,
my
honey,
addict.
I love you. We're in this together, and it's not for any other reason, but I want a long life with you.
That is my addict mentality, and it's hard to
too.
lose. It's hard to lose that manipulative
Absolutely.
Behavior.
100%.
Which, because I look, the last time we went through this, and I went along with it, and I said to myself, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for that weak moment. And the moment you say that, I am going to just jump right in on the bandwagon. I'm not going to be supportive. I'm not going to sit there and say, no, we can't do that, and hit you with one of your numbers. But I can't do that because I want it as bad as you do. But here goes the thing. I'm willing to wait it the fuck out. Because I know at some point it's going to happen. Like, that's just... But and it's unfortunate.
But we put things into place where when this happens, that's where we become each other's support.
I know,
we don't
and that's the way it should be.
Each other.
That's the way it should be.
That's what we have to change.
But again, I go back to I'm not ready, right? And you say you're not ready.
No, I'm never going to be ready to give up the food that I love and the joy that I know.
Right, and then you know what? I'll go along with it because this is what you want, and I'm trying to make you happy. And I'm trying to do the right thing too on top of it, but in the background the wheels are spinning.
Yeah.
And they're fucking waiting, and it's patient, and it waits. I was told one time by a sponsor I had, and he said, I'm trying to remember the word. God, now it eludes me at this point. I need a moment to think. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead, say what you gotta say. I'm gonna think about this.
I was listening.
There's a word, and the meaning of this word is awaiting a chance to entrap. That insidious. That's it. That we have an insidious disease. And my sponsor asked me, "Do you know what the definition is?" And that is the definition of insidious. It's awaiting a chance to entrap. So it's patient. It's sitting there. It's dormant. It says, okay, I'll go along with it. That's like somebody going to fucking rehab, and I've done it. I've sat and listen, I went to rehab 3 times for a company that paid for it 3 times, like 20 grand every time I went, and they paid for it. And the first time I think I survived like 9 months. And then the second time I went like, I think maybe 4 or 5 months. And then the third time, I literally walked out the door and went straight to the cop man. You know what I mean? It's insidious, and it's sitting there.
On 6 years.
Yeah, and I never thought I could ever have that. And it's possible. It told me that it is possible. And this food thing, it can be possible. We can make it happen.
People do it all the time.
If you want it bad enough, you gotta want it. If you don't want it, ain't nobody gonna tell you shit. That's what I've learned, and I watched this. I sat in a room full of addicts, and I watched them come in, and they have the rah-rah, and they go for it, and they're there for a little while, and next thing you know, they lose it. And I'm not saying for 1 second that I'm better than them, and that it can't happen to me. And even after 6 years, I've watched people with 20 years fucking drop off. I've watched a lot of people, and it can happen to me too. But I can tell you at this point in my life and everything that's happened to me, the surgeries, the fucking drug addiction, the rehabs, all the bullshit I went through, just everything, the life stuff, I've become a changed person, and I do have an appreciation for life. And even though it doesn't seem that way, but I do have an appreciation. And you come that close to death, you cannot sit there and go, "Oh, it hasn't affected you." Oh, it affects me, but you know what? I blow it off on other shit because I don't want to think about it. And sometimes I sit here. I got nitrous all over the fucking house. I got it in the truck. I carry it in my pocket sometimes because I have this fear of having a fucking heart attack, and I don't want to be without those little pills, the little tiny pills. You stick a couple
Well,
underneath
it's
your
not
tongue.
just fear. It's a real.
It's a real life
You
fucking
really
thing.
have to. That's why it
Yeah.
was prescribed to you.
Right, and I have it, and I haven't used it in a good while, to be honest. But I still get the little heart palpitations that kind of fuck with me and make me feel
Which
like
could potentially
it's like
be
my heart
fixed.
talking to me. Go, yeah, and you know what? Richard Pryor had a great fucking bit about it. He said because he had a heart attack, and he said he was walking along, and all of a sudden his heart said, "Don't breathe no more." He said, "What?" He said, "You heard me. Don't breathe no motherfucking more." He's like, "Okay, I ain't gonna breathe no more." Okay. I was like, "You thinking about dying now, huh? You wasn't thinking about dying when you was eating all that pork, motherfucker." And he twists his heart, falls to the floor. He's like, "I'm thinking about dying." Oh shit! And then he says, "That's when you put an emergency call into God." He's like, "Can I speak to God? I'll have to put you on hold." And then your heart gets mad because it finds out you were talking to God. Were you talking to God? No, I wasn't talking to God. You's a lying motherfucker. Bro, he was so funny. That shit just killed me. But that's the truth. That's an exaggerated truth, but you go through that. And I go through that thinking about that every day. But you know what? As long as I'm breathing, as long as I'm able to fucking speak my mind and say some things, I'm going to do it.
I don't know.
I'm trying to document my life is what I'm doing.
I don't know what I want. I have been where I have lost all the weight, even before you met me, where I was like a size 8, which for me, I looked like a size 4 at a size 8 because of the because I'm tall and my body shape, and I'm just lucky in that sense, or was lucky. I'm a lot older now. I don't think my body would do that,
I
but
think it could. I think if you wanted it bad enough, you could.
but I don't know. I don't know what I want
I've
other
seen.
than
I've
that.
seen.
I've seen. Let me finish my thought, please, because I keep losing it. I have been slim, and I thought it was going to change my life, and it didn't. And I'm older now and wiser, and I know that being slim doesn't, even if you get really pretty or attractive, it doesn't change your life. In some ways it might make some things easier, but the reality is you still got to deal with yourself and your problems, and they don't just magically go away. And your self-confidence, you may get a little boost here and there, but in my experience, you still deal with the same demons that you always dealt with,
Yeah.
regardless of the bodysuit you're wearing. But I do know this: I watched 2 diabetic parents that could not get their shit together, could not heed the warnings. I watched my mother in pain every day of my life, to the point where she just couldn't walk anymore and then became an amputee. I watched my father. First, it started with losing a toe, then it was losing another toe, then it was losing a foot, then it was losing a leg, then it was kidney failure, then it was liver failure, then it was dialysis. Then on his other leg, with his other foot that he got to keep, he got a condition called Charcot's foot. What is that? Well, I don't know exactly, but I'll tell you, they probably got the name because all of a sudden your bones start to change into the shape of a shark fin, sticks out the side of your foot, and you can't freaking walk on it now.
Yeah.
I watched my parents die young and from something that was a man-made disease that they could have stopped or prevented.
How old was your father?
When he died,
Yeah.
I think he was 76.
Really? Wow.
But before you say really wow, what you should be asking was, how did he spend the last 10 years of his life? In a nursing home. So at 66, he was in a nursing home. At 56, he was a full-on amputee, wheelchair bound, and could no longer walk or drive, or even he was using transfer boards. He couldn't even get in and out of the chair without falling on his face and having the firemen having to come in and break the window to get in. And it took literally 5 or 6 of them to lift him up. So the real question is not how long did he live, it's
The quality of his life.
when did the quality of his life disappear? And that was in his early 50s, at 56.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, well, my mom was 2 years younger than that. My mother had gestational diabetes. And so she had that ever since she was pregnant. But, and it just turned into regular diabetes over time. And she did try and watch. And the reality is, she didn't have access to the same information that we have access to now of being able to reverse these diseases, stop them and prevent them. These were all diseases that we thought could not be fixed. They could only be contained. We didn't know that diet, food, could actually stop these diseases in their tracks and reverse a lot of them, as we're learning now. Food really is thy medicine. Well, you and I have an advantage. I'll tell you what I don't want. I don't want to be my parents. I am limping now for this is going on week number 4, because the pain in my right foot is so freaking bad, I can barely put pressure on it. And I don't want to grow old like this. I don't want to be limping and not being able to function because of pain. And I'm watching you already there. But both of us are lucky in that our organs are still working so far. We both have this chance to turn things around. We've not reached the point where it's too late for us.
And it can be done. And you know.
So I don't know what I want, but I know what I don't want. I don't want to grow old and suffer.
I have seen you walk 5 miles a day. I've seen you walk in fucking pouring ass rain.
And now I have
I have it. It's on my channel.
And now
you can search for that video. And she was walking through fucking pouring ass rain 5 miles a day. She did this shit for a long time, and I followed her in the truck every day when she was doing it. She had that determination. And when you get it in your head,
and now I can't hardly be on my foot long enough to get to the bathroom.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what my goal is? To walk 10 miles a day. Because 5 miles a day, anybody who's fit and listening to this, they're laughing. 5 miles a day ain't nothing. It's 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
I want to get to 10 miles a day. Right now, I would just like to get to where I don't have pain in my foot and I can walk to the bathroom without limping. Yeah. I want to get to the point where when I wake up and I'm about to touch the floor to stand up, I don't dread it, because I know that as soon as my foot touches the floor without me even putting any weight on it, it's going to be excruciating. I don't want to grow old and decrepit. That's what I don't want. I don't want to be like my parents.
Nobody wants that.
Well, the only way that we're going to stop it is by doing something about it.
I agree. Something's got to be done. But I just,
I'm not ready either. I will never be ready to give up
there will
pizza and pasta and all my favorite foods.
There will be a part 2 to this. We will keep you updated.
Shit, there'll be a part 11 to this. This is a never ending. I know,
it's never ending. But you know what? The conversation started. So let's try to do something about it. again, I go back to, what do you want to call this episode?
The beginning.
The beginning? Okay. And that's what this is, the beginning. So stay tuned, folks, because it gets exciting. This is a hell of a fucking ride. Whee!
The beginning before change.
Gotcha. All right, baby. I love you. Happy anniversary, honey.
Happy anniversary. I love you.
I love you too.